It feels like the world is falling apart. Every time you open your phone, you are greeted by a new catastrophe. Another war breaking out in a region you thought was stable. Another, once in a century, climate disaster hitting for the third time this year. Another headline about an AI breakthrough that might cure cancer or might render the human race obsolete.
AI engineers in the world who create these things, we have no idea how AI actually works. We don't know how to look inside it and understand what's
It feels frantic. It feels accelerating. And most of all, it feels unprecedented. There is a pervasive sense in the pit of our collective stomach that we are living through the final chapter of human history. That we are the unlucky ones who have to watch the credits roll. But here is the strange, uncomfortable truth. The human brain is not a camera, it is a filter. And right now, that filter is malfunctioning. If you could travel back in time to the year 1000 AD, or 500 BC, or even 10,000 BC, you would find people who were absolutely convinced they were living in the end times. Ancient Mesopotamian tablets from 3,000 years ago contain complaints that the world is deteriorating because children no longer obey their parents and everyone is writing books instead of working. In the first century, early Christians believed the kingdom of heaven was arriving within their lifetime to wipe away the corrupt Roman world. In the Cold War, your grandparents went to sleep every night knowing that a single phone call could turn the atmosphere into fire.
First, you duck, then you cover. You duck and cover.
Why does every generation feel like the last one? Psychologists call this declinism, the cognitive bias that tricks us into viewing the past as a golden age and the present as a collapse. This happens because of how human memory works. We have a reminiscence bump. We tend to edit out the boring, painful, or traumatic parts of the past, leaving only a highlight reel of nostalgia. Meanwhile, the present is raw. It is full of uncertainty. You don't know how the current crisis ends, so it feels infinite. But there is something deeper happening today. We are victims of the availability heuristic. Your brain judges the frequency of an event by how easily you can recall an example of it. For 200,000 years, if you saw a tragedy, it happened in your village. It was local. It was rare. Today, we have built a digital nervous system that instantly transmits the pain of 8 billion people directly into your pocket. You see a flood in Brazil, a riot in France, and a famine in Yemen, all in the span of 10 seconds. Your biological hardware interprets this as a world in total collapse because it was never designed to process suffering at this scale. We are overdosing on awareness. We are hyper-connected to the world's pain, but disconnected from the world's progress. But just because your brain is glitching doesn't mean the danger isn't real. To understand the true stakes, we have to look up. There are roughly 100 to 400 billion stars in our galaxy alone. Many of them have planets. Many of those planets are billions of years older than Earth. Statistically, the galaxy should be teeming with life. We should see Dyson spheres harvesting star energy. We should hear radio signals. We should see the ruins of galactic empires. But we see nothing. We hear nothing. Just a cold, infinite silence. This is Fermi's paradox. Where is everybody? The most terrifying answer to this paradox is a theory called the Great Filter. The Great Filter suggests that there is some hurdle, some step in the evolution of life that is extremely difficult to survive. A step so dangerous that it wipes out almost everyone who encounters it. Here is the crucial question. Where is the filter? Is it behind us? If the filter is behind us, it means the hard part was just becoming intelligent in the first place. It means life is incredibly rare, and we are the lucky lottery winners who made it. But if the filter is ahead of us, then we are in trouble. It means that advanced civilizations don't disappear because they are rare. They disappear because they destroy themselves. It suggests that there is a trap waiting for every civilization that gets smart enough to build nuclear weapons or engineered viruses or artificial intelligence, but not wise enough to control them. For the first time in history, humanity has the capacity to initiate a great filter event. We have entered the danger zone. So, what does the filter look like? We tend to imagine it as a villain, a dictator with a red button, an evil corporation. But the reality is much scarier. The great filter isn't a person. It's a mathematical dynamic. It is a multipolar trap, often personified in game theory as the demon Moloch. Imagine two countries. Both want peace. Neither wants to spend billions on weapons, but country A knows that if country B builds a powerful AI weapon, country A will be destroyed. So country A must build the weapon first to protect itself. Country B makes the exact same calculation. So both countries spend all their resources building a weapon that neither of them wanted, bringing both of them closer to annihilation. They are rational actors, making rational decisions, yet the outcome is irrational madness. This is the tragedy of the commons on a planetary scale. A fisherman doesn't overfish the ocean because he hates fish. He does it because if he stops, his competitor will catch the fish instead and his family will starve. A tech CEO doesn't release an unsafe AI because they want to destroy the world. They do it because if they pause for safety, their competitor will get to market first and bankrupt them. The system rewards speed. It rewards aggression. It rewards short-term gain over long-term survival. This is the true nature of the Great Filter. It is a civilization comprised of good people trapped in a bad game. A game where the only way to win is to race toward the cliff faster than everyone else. Why are we so bad at fixing this? Why can't we just agree to stop racing toward the cliff? The problem lies in our biology, specifically a concept known as Dunbar's number. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar theorized that humans have a cognitive limit to the number of stable social relationships we can maintain. That number is about 150. For most of human history, 150 people was the whole world. If you hurt someone in your tribe, you saw their face. You felt their pain. Accountability was built in. But today, we are trying to run a global civilization of 8 billion people using tribal software designed for 150. Our empathy doesn't scale. We can feel deep love for our family and maybe our neighbors. But when we think about a nation or humanity, those are just abstract concepts. We don't feel them viscerally, and because we don't feel them, we default to tribalism. We retreat into us versus them. We look at the other side of the political spectrum, or the other side of the border, and we don't see partners in survival. We see enemies. We turn global threats, like climate change or pandemics, into tribal identity badges. Instead of solving the problem, we argue about whose fault it is. We are fighting over seats on the Titanic while the iceberg looms overhead. So, how do we escape the trap? If the problem is that our technology is global, but our mindset is tribal, what is the solution? Astrophysicists use a measurement called the Kardashev scale. It ranks civilizations by how much energy they can harness. A Type 1, civilization has mastered its home planet. It controls all the energy falling on its world. It manages its weather, its resources, and its biosphere as a single, unified system. It has moved past the need for war over resources because it has solved the energy problem. Right now, humanity is a Type 0.7 civilization. We are awkward adolescents. We have found the power of the atom, but we still burn dead plants for fuel. We have the internet, but we use it to scream at each other. We are in the most dangerous phase of development, the transition. We are trying to jump from Type 0 to Type 1. The great filter isn't a wall we hit. It is the fire we have to walk through to become a Type 1 civilization. The chaos you feel right now, the political polarization, the economic shocks, the cultural panic, is the friction of that transition. Old systems are breaking because they are too small for the future we are building. Nation states, which were designed for the 19th century, are struggling to regulate an internet designed for the 22nd. The pain we are feeling is the sound of a species outgrowing its shell. We aren't dying, we are molting. This brings us back to the silence of the universe. Why is it so quiet out there? Maybe it's because most civilizations play the wrong game. There are two types of games in life. Finite games are played to win. Football is a finite game. War is a finite game. An election is a finite game. There is a winner, a loser, and an end. Infinite games are played for the purpose of continuing the play. Evolution is an infinite game. Culture is an infinite game. Life is an infinite game. You don't win a marriage. You don't win at raising a child. The goal isn't to beat an opponent. The goal is to keep the game going. For 10,000 years, humanity has been obsessed with finite games. Conquer the land, defeat the enemy, accumulate the most gold. But you cannot play a finite game with nuclear weapons. You cannot play a finite game with a fragile biosphere. If you play to win against nature, you lose. If you play to win a nuclear war, everyone dies. The only way to survive the Great Filter is to switch our civilization from a finite game to an infinite game. This is the choice you face every day. When you choose to destroy an opponent on social media for a quick dopamine hit, you are playing the finite game. When you choose to build something that lasts, to understand someone you hate, to plant a tree you will never sit under, you are playing the infinite game. The feeling that the world is ending is valid, because for the first time, it actually might be. The silence of the universe is not a blank canvas, it is a warning. It is the sound of what happens when intelligence outpaces wisdom. We are currently a Type 0 civilization wielding Type 1 weaponry, playing a suicide pact disguised as a game. We have to stop waiting for a savior or a technological miracle to intervene. There is no audience watching us. There is no safety net. If we don't change the way we play this game, the screen doesn't just fade to black, it breaks.